welcome goddesses to another fun episode of Get It Girl. On today's Girl Talk, we're going to be talking about something we can all relate to, expectation versus reality.
And on the couch today, we'll be joined by international violinist, DJ, singer, and producer Esther Anaya.
And we'll end the show with shark expert and marine biologist Laura Garcia.
All of that right here on Get It Girl. Get It Girl. We all had an idea about what our future would look like. I know I did. Maybe your younger self thought that you would be married and a millionaire by 30. However, life usually has its own plans. So, ladies, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. 100% yes.
Are you a planner?
I used to be a planner. I used to have I would write down, este año voy a hacer esto, and next year I'm going to do this. And I would write down 5 years or 4 years. And it started to stress me out so much.
It gives me anxiety thinking about it.
It was giving me serious anxiety. And me, who I'm a very spontaneous, lively person, I basically had to say enough.
Right.
Bastante. I needed to start to think about me, what I wanted, and I live for today and tomorrow. I don't think past mañana because the day after tomorrow may not come.
Right.
And so I live by today and tomorrow, and I will reach tomorrow's tomorrow cuando llegue. I just cannot think past that point anymore. And it's been amazing for my health, for my stress level, my sanity. But I mean, it's one of those things, I feel like social media just really has played a number on people.
As much as you try to do your own life and go with your plans or whatever you want to do in your life, social media directs you into this rabbit hole where you're just scrolling and see how happy and how good everybody else, and you start, comparing yourself.
I think no matter what, even though people say, I myself tell people on my social media account, this is a highlight reel. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get on social media and be like, hey guys, I'm having a bad day, I'm crying. Just because I also don't want a pity party, but as humans, we all go through different emotions and we all go through different seasons in life, and we all are in this industry where it's so unpredictable.
Yes.
And I would be lying if I say that subconsciously I don't or haven't in the past compared myself to somebody else that's in my same lane and things of that sort. But I also really genuinely believe que lo que es para ti, y nadie te lo quita.
Exacto.
So it's I think that with social media, my little sister actually deletes the app from her phone once she connects with her friends, connects with me. She deletes it because she admitted to me, she's like, it gives me extreme anxiety.
Yeah, and all of a sudden,
I think that's fine for you to delete it.
Yeah, and you put yourself, you tell yourself, I'm not gonna check my Instagram, for example. But for some reason, you just grab that phone, and the first thing for me that happens, I'm already on Instagram, and I'm like, how did I get here? I was going to see my email, but now I'm clicking on the app for
It's
Instagram.
like an autopilot.
You're
realize
there,
you're doing it.
and nothing is really happening. It is the same thing, same. It's everything, but you're still there. You're like, every second. I even checked my, you can see the how much you use social media, that whole analytics things, and how many hours you spent on that. And one day I saw 4 hours on just Instagram. I was like, where did that happen? How in one day?
Right.
But I think it's one of those things. I know people that use it it's their life source. I blog about my whole life. I do this, I do that. But I feel that when you start comparing yourself, it becomes toxic. Because you start to bring yourself down. It's about celebrating your victories. You have to celebrate every little victory. Because if you start just counting on all the things you haven't done and all the things, your own expectations, I haven't met this, I haven't done that, you're gonna just bring yourself down.
Yeah.
But if you celebrate your victories and really pat yourself on the back, be kind to yourself and say, you know what? I did this for myself. I did this today.
Exactly.
Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to 5 years ago.
Exactly. And honestly, so I see myself as a going with the flow type of girl, but I do put 3 years, within 3 years, I want to accomplish this, for example. It could be anything, honestly. And once those 3 years, I don't even count, now is the time to check. I do have that intuition where I have to feel okay, let me look back, what have I done? And that's where I realized that I've done quite a lot, more than I actually expected. And I necessarily don't write it down, I just keep it in my mind. This is what's gonna do, and this is what's gonna happen. And it does, because keeping calm and trusting the universe, or trusting your instinct, that's gonna keep you going and reach the goals that you want.
I also think that sometimes, because life is so fast, writing things down and reminding what your accolades have been, what you have done, what you have accomplished in different careers and different ages, like, it's great because of the fact that it just kind of gives us like a check of, hey, you've done so good so far. And I do that a lot sometimes. Like, I'll grab my notes and I'm like, okay, so I did this, and I'm like, oh wow, things that I had on my vision board, things that I wanted to accomplish, like, I have done it. So giving yourself a break and not feeling guilty. I suffer from feeling guilty of celebrating myself sometimes, and I've gotten better at it. And I think also in the pandemic, we all had to, whatever plan we had, whether it was a 3, 6 months, 3-year plan, we had to sit our butt down at home and be like, what does this person want?
A thing that media has told us, like, you know, it's power, ¿verdad? Es dinero. How, are you making X amount of money? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Hay tantas cosas. There's so many things that draws you into, like, what have I not done? What have I not done? It's always a thing. Yeah. But being able to be content, being able to find that happiness, and being able to listen to that voice inside of you and what you genuinely need, it takes practice. It definitely takes practice, because
and shutting off that annoying, ugly voice.
Heck yes.
There's a good one and there's a bad one.
Yeah, there's definitely those moments where you just have to say, ya basta, ya basta. Like, meditation is amazing. It's been so great for me.
It works.
But I will say that one of the things that I have noticed is also to be able to stand up for myself. When it comes to the familia and hearing, like, y esto, and I turn around and say, and what about you? Like, you know, you have to be able to be a little bit like defensive, where it's like, y qué? Like, you know, because you'll get those questions, and if we don't start changing the dialogue and teaching our family members on, hey, how about you ask these questions to the next girl? Right. Because you don't know what somebody's struggle is. Like, infertility exists. Yeah. It's real. So I never ask a girl when they're married. Y los niños are like, oh, and are you considering kids? Because I don't know what their struggle is.
Yeah. Right. And it's also just because you got married, you're going to have
it's like
kids right away.
Exactly.
When the kids coming and you're like, oh.
But if we don't teach, I think, our relatives, or teach our generations on how to change the dialogue, how to ask the right questions, how to also encourage and support one another and celebrate each other, we're going to be in this cycle again.
Also, how to mind their own business.
Yeah, why not?
Just a little bit. Just, I don't know. Mind your own business. Worry about yourself. Talk to yourself.
But also, we have to remember that we are in a city, in a town where social media is like the #1 thing, and everybody's kind of in the same entertainment business, and everybody wants to accomplish something, and so it's so easy to get into that rabbit hole and to compare and criticize yourself, beat yourself up a lot. Mentally. And so it's just like, we have to remind that this city is very particular from the rest of the world.
Our industry.
And take that, and the industry, take a break.
But I even think outside of the industry, in Miami, in Ohio, and Indiana, there are kids, there are women, there are men that still have social media, and that goes further than the industry, you know? And these kids are thinking that they are nobodies, or they are worthless because of the fact that they are not becoming a millionaire by 18, because they are not coming up with, you know, going viral on TikTok when they're 13 years old, that they are not a worthwhile woman because they are not 25 and married with their first kid, or they're not a worthwhile man because they have they're a mechanic in their community, but they might be the best mechanic in their community, and that means they are amazing. So I think it goes so even far outside of our bubble that we're in of the industry, and the world that we live in today is just a little bit intense.
Do you think there's more pressure on kids today than when we were kids?
1,000%. Yes.
Kids today are not kids.
No, they're not. My goddaughter just started high school and was making plans for college already. She's like, well, I need to do this so that way I do my college classes. I'm thinking, you haven't even started high school yet. Be a kid. Allow yourself to be a kid. Yeah. But I feel that that's also us saying, like, because now it's, your bachelor's, master's, doctor. Like, we're thinking so far ahead.
Right.
But I think it's also, again, changing the dialogue, but also setting realistic expectations. Small expectations that allow us to be victorious.
Right.
It's so funny because those small ones, they will lead you to the big ones.
Yes.
Of course, there's like the little steps in the ladder. Have you guys ever seen that meme where it says, now I see why the small steps mean like a lot? And it's a person with small steps going up the ladder and a person that had this and they're still trying to get on the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Or even like, I don't know if you've seen the one where it shows like what you think it takes to get to that next step, and it's a straight line, and someone's like riding a bicycle, and then you actually see it, and it's like an obstacle course, and it has like sharks in it, it has all kinds of things happening, and you're like, how did we get here, you know? Well, speaking of sharks, we need to take a quick break because when we come back, we're gonna have a superwoman join us, Esther Anaya. You don't wanna miss it.